And like I said, the only thing, once we get things kind of clear out, it's kind of what we want the door to go from here right down there. So then if, because it's close to there, and then if, if mom needs to go to the bathroom or something,
I would agree with that. All this wall
yeah.
somewhere.
I mean, we could. I mean, they have this bracing in here. Ivan said he can take this out and put another brace in.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, because that door.
No cable, just a kind of a counter island.
Mhm.
You don't need a table. We don't need cable, right?
Right.
I don't have my key. Hold on, wait. I don't have my key.
I see
I'm-
the ice rolling, so we take that.
So if we, right there, and we make this into a wall, okay? Here's 8, 10, and there's 12. So there's your 4-foot hallway.
Yep.
You come right to there,
So that's
right there. So then if we go through that, put that right there, and then hypothetically, step on that, right? And if we go to there, there's 10. That's a pretty good sized room there. That gives plenty of room to socialize.
yeah, because that makes that nice and big over there.
Yeah. Because like at the end of the day, like you said, you're just going to sleep in here, right?
Yeah.
You know,
I-
you're going to socialize out here.
I would not make this 12 because that's going to be like a tight hallway,
4
isn't it?
foot.
It's 4 foot. I mean, we're probably, I'm not off, but it'd be
Yeah.
4-foot hallway. I mean, would you rather go a little?
11.
11? Okay. And that's fine.
Because you're going to want space and then you're going to have some kind of heat thing.
Well, that unit sits clear up here, Carrie.
Okay, from here then out, because, right, this is your outside or your inside wall is right here.
Yep.
I would do
this
only
unit now
11.
sits clear up to there.
Yeah.
Well, we can make it 11.
Well, go the other way. Take that
Because you're going to want a little space in the hallway.
and take it to that one. See how far that is.
It's probably a little narrow over there. 15 maybe. Yeah, between them is 15.7.
15.7. So 11 foot will give you 4'7" here.
Okay.
But by the time you get in
The walls and all that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be at least,
11 foot,
We'll just make it 11 foot out, and there'll be 3 or 4 rows or whatever in here. Yeah, there'll be so many lights in here, and it won't be able to even. And the lights, they're going to put on 3-way switches, or yeah, 3-way switches, so you'll have lights in there. So like hypothetically, you come from the barn, and there's no lights on in here, they'll have a switch there that'll shut, turn all this on, or you feed in from the front, and walk through the double doors with the switch in there. And the same way here, there'll be a switch over there, and a switch behind the counter to run all the lights on. And this in here are going to be those, they call them flat panel lights. They're 2 foot by 4 foot. They'll be there. I don't know. Dan's going to figure out exactly what in there, either 4 or 5 of them. He thinks 6 will be too many. It's just going to be way too many. So we'll do that in there. And like I said, and they're going to put a plug. Sorry. Put a plug like in the ceiling, kind of where the counter is, and then they're going to run something down to get power to the computers. So.
plenty of room for a lazy.
you want to explain the hatchery
We can explain it, yeah.
again? While I video it.
Okay. So you'll come in through these double doors. This is the entryway. You'll come in, and right down at the bottom here, this line that goes across here, there'll be a wall. It goes towards the ceiling. And so you'll have incubators down through here. So we'll have across the back, there'll be 2 I-40s. The one side, there'll be an 8-foot gap. And then you'll have another I-40 and 2 I-32s. And then 3 I-32s up this side here, which will be the south side. And between those, they sit 3 foot off the wall, 8.5 wide, 88 inches tall, and then between those machines and these machines, there's a 14-foot hallway that runs through them. There'll be a sliding door, where the middle kind of comes out where we can, once we get in place here, but there'll be roughly right here is where the sliding door will be. There'll be a 10-foot sliding door. They'll slide shut. They'll put receptacles along the side, receptacles in there, and then there'll be 4 rows of lights inside of this. So that we've always got plenty of light when we're opening those doors, even though those incubators do have lights in them. And we put that many lights in here, so then if we're working behind them, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Then we can,
Probably 3 foot wide, because
so we can work behind them. So the reason why they're 3
I'm not 3 foot wide, but, you know.
Yeah.
I might carry something.
Yeah, the reason why we set them off 3 foot wide off the back is because the motors and the fan belts and all of that, and all the watering systems and everything. There are drains you can see. There's one there, and one in each corner, and one there, and one over there. Then there'll be lines that tie into them.
And they're also, they don't set on the floor.
No, they all set on 4x4s. That's why I said 88 inches tall, because they set at 82, I think.
Because they have 4x4s underneath of them.
And that
They can be
allows
moved.
air circulation.
And
through it.
air circulation around the whole thing.
Yep, so they don't ever get damped. Incubators is humidity, so we don't want them to get damp underneath them.
And
So yeah, so that'll sit there, and then this will all be open. The hatchers will sit along there. The hatchers are all fiberglass. They'll sit all along this other south wall. The incubators in here are all Robbins incubators, they're redwoods. So all machines back in the 1940s and 60s. But the hatchers will sit all along this wall here, and then the rest of that, they'll sit 3 foot off the thing. They're about 8 foot wide, so they'll stick out right. And then the rest of all of this area here, and then where I'm standing, will be all workspace. So we're going to have, big long tables on casters that we can roll around, and at the end of the day or end of the week or whatever we're ready to sanitize, we roll them over here, roll them out there, sanitize everything, or push them against walls, so we can, have places to work when we're setting eggs for the week, and then of course we hatching on Tuesdays and shorten Tuesdays and shipping on Wednesday, and to have them to the post office, and then pickups and deliveries are all on Thursdays. So that'll be all there. Then that room there is all the washroom, sanitizing room. Electric panels will sit on that wall, hot water tank, propane hot water tank, 3-bay sink, stainless steel. And then there's a 12-foot garage door, a roll-up. It'll be on an automatic roll-up. We're going to get one of the ones that just mount right on the side. We're going to do it automatic, so just in case someone's doing something, and there'll be clickers in the vans, or there'll be a code outside so you can get in, so you don't have to come in and roll the thing up. Because it's a heavy door, because it's insulated door.
Right.
Yeah, so.
And that's where the eggs come in.
Yep, the eggs come, so all the eggs will come in there. If they need sanitized, 9 out of 10 chicken eggs do not need sanitizers. They're already clean. The biggest thing is we have to sanitize all the water hot eggs. And then the other thing is all the flock quarter farms. When we go pick up eggs, they'll all come in through this door. And when we're taking eggs to the post office, everything will be loaded out this door, because we'll be all working here. Chicks, yep. We'll be all loading, we'll be all working here, and they'll be packaged. And then on this wall right here, on this wall, from this post to this post, there is a counter going to be built out that's going to set here with 3 screens and a laptop we plugged into it and a big printer. So this is where we or someone, and we'll put a stool or bar stool or something if one wants to sit, but this is where you will or someone will sit when we're packaging orders. Because what's those printing machines they call the infrared printers that print the labels, the big labels for shipping. I have one of those. But it'll all sit there, 3 screens, you'll be able to see everything up, what's going out, what's monitoring, how we're tracking. And then, like I said, then another big printer there to print just regular papers and stuff like that. But that will sit here. So then I was trying to figure out where we were going to put something where we could work to ship.
That's the best place, because right there, everything comes through here.
Yes, I mean, so if everybody's down here working, whoever's down here, we've got counters down through here. You won't be able to put a counter here, you'll probably freeze to death if you did. Because the big air conditioning unit vent is going to come in here, and then it'll vent out, and then it'll come up through there. But we'll put something here and along that way. Of course, the door that goes into the apartment area will sit there. But then we'll be able to have tables, workspace along there. And then the next thing too is we have to be able to have enough room. And then I have that other building that I'm going to work on too to store all of the chick boxes. So all the chick boxes, shipping boxes come in. They're all broke down just by size, right? And you have to put them together. They all come from Mansfield. box factory up in Mansfield, so which makes it really nice. It's not very far away.
Well, you can take the skid steer in, drop
Yep.
the pallet off, put them together,
Yep.
out.
And out they go. Yep. But yeah, that's where, like I said, there'll be a counter there for all that. So when we're trying to figure out what we're shipping or whatever we're doing, and stuff like that.
All right, do we want to go to the other buildings, or
We can.
what's the size of this one?
The size of this one, this room that we're in right now is a 40 by 100. The room on the end down there is a 16 by 40. The room up front is 24 by 32 with a porch on the front of it, and then the washroom, I can't remember. I think it's 20 feet wide, and then 16 foot deep is the washroom.
Yeah.
So we've got in this room here, you've got what, 4,047, another 47 is 52, and so we're like what, almost 8,000 square feet just alone, the 7,000 something odd square feet just in the hatchery alone. And all HVAC units, so we have in the apartment area, we have one mini split in there, in the showroom, in the office area up front. There is a mini split with 2 heads on both sides, all climate controlled. And then in this room where we said we had that wall going in, there are 2 industrial commercial units, rooftop units that we mounted on the ground that blow in, and they're both 6-ton units. So, yeah. Yeah, 6-ton units. Over $60,000 just in HVAC units to keep track of everything. So the biggest thing, and the other thing we'll see what's really cool is the HVAC guy is, so all those incubators, they all vent the heat out the top of a chimney, kind of looks like a chimney. So they're going to create a hood that goes over top of all the incubators in the summer, that heat, because heat rises, right? So the heat will go up out of that, and there'll be an automatic thermostat switch. When that hits 90 degrees inside that hood, it pulls the air up out and then shuts off automatically. And then in the winter, it'll shut off and it'll push that heat actually down into the room.
To help heat the room.
To help heat the room. So we won't have to be using so much propane, and then in the summer, the air conditioning won't be working as hard, hopefully, is the idea. That's the idea. Because the biggest thing, like I said, all those incubators, they blow all that heat up out the top.
Heat and moisture.
Heat and moisture out the top. So they're going to create like I said, it's a hood. They've got an idea of how they're going to be. It's going to be like, kind of look like on legs on top of it. It'll be about 8 inches tall. So then when they shut that damper on it, it'll push the heat, out from underneath it like this. But heat rises, so that'll be good. It'll go up. It's kind of like a cone type thing is how they're going to make it. And it'll go all up. So that's kind of neat. They came up with that idea, trying to figure out.
Kind of like a hood for a stove.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, it's almost kind of like a hood for a stove type thing. The best part, the reason why we went with these AC units on the outside and not something on the inside, is these are self-contained units. Okay, so when we're in full production and we don't want anybody in here due to biosecurity, my HVAC guy, all he has to do is pull around back, and he never has to come inside the building one time. Not one time. The only thing he'd have to do is maybe call me and say, hey, Dustin, can you flip the breaker off? But we did also put breakers on the outside, so he didn't even have to do that. And all the ventilation systems are all on the outside. I don't think we can see on there, but there are 4 great big furnace vents.
Let's go look outside.
Yep, we can go see them. Yep, on the outside.
And Mike, if you have any, ask questions or whatever.
I know everything.
I know.
But we're doing it for this.
All the peoples.
The peoples. We need to know the people.
Okay.
So I don't have a screwdriver, but you take this off here, and then inside there are 4 great big units that are vents that are down in there. This outside piece here, this is something that we added to it. This is they call as an economizer, is what they call it. So in the middle of the winter, the idea behind this is, in the middle of the winter, this will get hot because the incubator is running, and it will call for air condition. Instead of turning the compressor on, it will pull that 10 below air outside and run it through the building as an air condition. And then there's inside of it, so this is a screen vent here, and then right on the other side of that, there are big dampers that have rubber seals on them, and they open like this, and it pulls the air right through, just like air conditioning. So, which is pretty cool. That was an extra little bit of an add-on. It wasn't much more money, and even I think even if it was a couple $1,000s more, I think it's going to save a lot of money. But it was not. It was just a few $100s more. They asked if we wanted that, and my HVAC guy explained how it worked. I said yes, let's do it, because I think at the end of the day, winters, we don't have winters like we used to anymore, right? in Ohio. It doesn't get,
Generally.
yeah, it doesn't get, well, until this year, probably it'll be 50 below zero.
And then
But-
all this will be,
Yes, so where you're
all
standing here,
gravelled, and this will be concrete here.
this will all be concrete. Once the downspouts are put in and all the drainage, we'll concrete that. Everything where you see here will be all that. We talked about putting, there will be wall packs on every building, on the fronts and on the ends, and there'll be wall packs on the ends of every building and stuff. So there'll be all kinds of lights. You'll be able- lights everywhere.
So this building, do we want to go to it since we're
Yes,
over there?
yep, we can.
This is the waterfowl breeder building. No concrete.
So like Mike said, this is the waterfowl breeder building. Don't pay attention to all of our trash in here. We're still in production, right? But this is the waterfowl breeder building. So the waterfowl breeder building has, I've talked with several different people and even the original owners of Nest Hatchery. So when they built their barn, they put a limestone gravel basin and there are drains down the middle of it. And that will help get away. So at the end of the building, there is a lot of dirt and stuff where we've had to take out to get the building level. So once the crops come off the backs, then that'll all be pushed out to just level that hill out and everything that way. But the building is 40 foot by 200 foot long. There'll be 3 rows of lights down through it. And then along the west side of the building is where there'll be a hydrant and everything in. And there'll be a hallway, or a walkway, well, not a hallway, but a walkway, probably about 5 foot wide is what we're thinking. We haven't completely decided how big the breeding pens are. Certain breeds that we have in the hatchery right now, we have more of that breed or variety. And we sell more of certain breeds and varieties. So we'll have bigger breeding pens for those. Some of those are, like the Emdens, we have a lot of Emdens for commercial wise meat markets and stuff. And then you could say the old German Toulouse, right? That we sell a lot for the big meat markets and stuff like that. So they'll be, of course, those breeding pens will be a lot bigger for them. We have feeders, there'll be bulk bins on each outside that hold 4 ton of feed. They'll be augered in, and then we'll have, haven't completely decided what we're gonna do in this building yet, how we're gonna get feed from one and the other. We talked about electric Cushman or something like that to haul feed back and forth. But there'll be, there's 200-pound feeders that go in each of these pens, and then automatic bell waters through the entire pen. Every pen has an automatic well water, depending on how many birds, waterfowl are in each of them. Some will probably have 3 to 4 waters, just to make sure that the birds are everything. 3 exhaust fans, 2 36 inches and 1 24. All the sides have a treated 2x6 or 2x10 on the base. All the walls are insulated, then metal siding on, and then the insulation will be blown in the ceiling. All the fans are on humidistats, so for humidity and heat in here. The ends, of course, will be, and each end has a sliding door, which is 10 foot, will be insulated also. And the lights in here are all on timers. So at peak season, we got to keep lights on at 17 hours. We turn the lights on the first day of Christmas on waterfowl. So to get everybody up into production and get things ready to move is when we turn them on Christmas Day.
Yep, this will have, there'll be more gravel brought in and stuff for the base.
And we'll bed with straw. Well, all the waterfowl we bed with straw.
For straw.
Yep.
Ah.
We've got 1,000 bales already, and that's about 250 more than what the original hatchery used on a yearly basis. So, but we're growing in certain areas here, so we added a little bit more, but we have 1,000 bales in storage already. We bed every week. That's one of the things everyone knows, right, Mike?
Yep.
Wet feet, damp birds don't lay.
No, they don't lay, and besides that, they get sick.
Yep, sick and no fertility or anything. So we'll bed every week. That's what the original hatchery does too. And also with the fans, the humidistats and stuff, it'll pull a lot of that moisture out. So that'll really, and we won't have any heat or anything in any of the buildings. The birds will keep it warm. The idea is to fill the barn with birds. They create their own heat.
Right.
So then we keep healthy birds.
Yep.
You get heat in the barn and all that, and even people I know say 45, 50 degrees, I still think that makes weak birds.
Yeah, well, it's better for the caretaker, but not necessarily for the birds.
Birds, yeah.
Yeah, as far as, and on this size scale,
Yeah.
that you would be running more exhaust than you did heat.
Yeah. We'd be pulling all the heat out of the building all the time.
Yeah. and the moisture.
Yep.
That's why it's more important to have the exhaust to get the moisture out. And this will have 18 inches of blown-in insulation all through them. And the walls and the metal. It'll be nice in here no matter what the weather gets outside.
Exactly.
So, and all automatic waterers.
Yep. There'll be, like I said, there'll be a hydrant right when you come in, PVC that'll run down through the middle of the building, probably roughly somewhere, and then we'll have, what do you want to call them, like little legs off of that.
Yeah.
That'll tie into the automatic waters. So all the feeders are, like I said, are 200 pounds. They're kind of like a square, oblongish type thing. They'll set actually right up against the wall that we're going to build down through the one side. It'll be a solid wall, and each breeding pen will be a solid wall. Each pen will not be able to see each other.
That's kind of important.
Yep. I think that is a big thing in waterfowl, is when those males can see each other, all they want to do is pace the fence instead of paying attention what's inside their pen.
That's right. Yeah. And sparred with each other.
Yep. So every pin, every divider between will be a solid wall. They'll be able to hear each other, but there'll be a solid wall. And then everything is removable. So it'll all be put in with T-post type thing. And so then the T-post can be pulled out. And then all the paneling will all be taken down and out. We'll be able to move with the skid loader. And then outside we can sanitize it, spray it down, or pressure wash it. And then we will clean the building out with the skid loader. There will be really no manual labor when it comes into this building here with cleaning of the building. It'll be really easy that way.
Yep.
The birds will all go out the back at the end of the season, which will be about mid-May, depending on how many orders we have, stuff like that. But right now, usually you shut waterfowl off about mid-May, collect eggs, and then you're still hatching about the 1st of June. Or not 1st of June, but 1st of July, I mean. And
Right,
then you'll be able to see out the back over here, which we can't really see because it's all corn and stuff. But everything that you see across here will be all put in the paddocks. And the waterfowl after breeding season zone, they'll be able to become geese or birds, right?
Yep.
Ducks. That's the idea. There'll be paddocks all the way down through there. All the pens, paddock pens will have carports in them, so they'll be able to get in and out of the shade, and the water lines with pools and everything in there. And there'll be certain pens out through there for young birds also. Old birds will be in their own pen, and then we'll put young birds in other pens.
And they'll be planted in alfalfa, so they'll have plenty to.
Yep, everything's going to be planted to alfalfa and orchard grass. So as long as we get rain, it'll grow like crazy.
Yep. And we usually do.
Yes.
Except for some this year.
Some this year, correct.